I want to tell you guys about my 3 favorite fan theories. So who doesn't love a good fan theory, right? Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord. Marty McFly dies in Back to the Future 2. I didn't know any of these things till I read them on the internet. We all know everything you read on the internet is true, because I read that on the internet. So when you're a nerd and you spend as much time watching movies and putting your mind in these fictional universes, you start to come up with fan theories. Little stories you can tell yourself to make the story you just watched a little bit more interesting. Now some are pretty far-fetched, but others seem so legit that they just grab you by the balls and make you believe it until James Cameron comes around and tells you you're wrong. The first fan theory I'm going to talk about is from the 1982 movie The Thing, brought to us by John Carpenter, who is also responsible for bringing Michael Myers into our lives. This theory is actually just about the ending of the movie, the last few minutes. This theory suggests that Childs was the Thing by the end of the movie. Our friend R.J. McCready, who's played by Kurt Russell, is laying in the snow after a long battle with the Thing. After a few long moments, Childs comes around the corner with a flamethrower in his hand. McCready greets him by asking, "Where were you, Childs?" After they feel each other out for a few moments to find out if one of them is gonna turn into an alien and devour the other, McCready comes up with a little plan. "I'm gonna hand Childs my Molotov cocktail and see if he can tell the difference between whiskey and gasoline." This would be a great plan. This would be a great ending for a movie, in fact. Of course, if Childs isn't the Thing, you just gave your friend gasoline after you just battled a monster in the snow for days. So if you watch the movie, you know how it really ends. In the real ending, 2 men are just laying in the cold. The camera pans out, and that's how it ends the movie. But with this theory, the battle would go on. Or McCready would just be done fighting and let Childs eat him. There are also nerds out there who notice that Childs' breath isn't showing in the cold night air like McCready's is. Of course there are people who deny this theory, like R.J. McCready himself, Kurt Russell, who said in an interview when he was doing promos for The Hateful Eight, "People are missing the point. The movie is about seclusion and paranoia." This theory wouldn't make it so either of them are any less paranoid. It just adds that little hint of, holy fuck, how did I not notice that? The second one on my list, and don't hate me for it, Breaking Bad is a prequel to The Walking Dead. Now hear me out for a second before you start throwing shit at me. In season 1, episode 2, Daryl walks over to his bike and pulls out a bag of meds. I think he's pulling them out because T-Dog cut himself and it's getting infected or something, but anyway. He pulls out his bag of meds, and at the bottom you can see Walter White's blue meth. Now this clearly could be just an homage to Breaking Bad, since it is on the same channel and everybody loves Breaking Bad. But this theory suggests that Walter White's meth is responsible for the zombie outbreak, and Gus Fring is patient 0. So Gus Fring, we saw him get blown up, and you gotta admit, he did look like a zombie after it was finished. There were other small points that were brought up to try and prove this theory. Red sports cars and characters named Glenn, stuff like that. But to me, those are just coincidences, and there are plenty of other shows that have red sports cars and Asian Glens. Come on, you know you can see it. The government's trying to get rid of all that blue meth that Walter made, starts dumping it, it gets seeped into our water supply, everybody turns into zombies. I'm telling you right now, we don't need guns to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government, we need it for the fucking zombies, man. And the final theory I'm going to talk about is from my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Inception. People have been trying to disprove this theory since it started, but it's still one of my favorites because it gives me closure in a movie that drove me insane. Was the top gonna fall? I've had this argument with so many people. It does seem to want to topple over at the very last millisecond, but some people say it didn't at all. This theory suggests that Cobb's totem isn't even the top. It's his wedding ring. If you don't know what a totem is something you take into the dream world with you to let you know if you're dreaming or if you're awake. It'll behave differently in the dream world than it does in the real world, and only you are allowed to know how your totem behaves in both worlds. If you watch the movie again, you'll notice that anytime he's awake, he's not wearing his wedding ring, and anytime he's supposed to be dreaming, he is wearing his wedding ring. Now I urge you not to research this theory because people are out of their minds talking about this stuff. People have theories about everything, including that the entire ending of the movie took place in Sato's dream. I'm not going to go into that one right now because it's 10 times more confusing than the movie. But this ring theory that I mentioned would be so nice at the end of a movie where you're just like, man, I really hope this works out for my poor Leo. The thing that makes this theory so special is that at the end of the movie, when he finally gets to talk to his children, he isn't wearing his wedding ring, which would give us some closure that maybe Leo has a happy ending every once in a while, and he's not freezing in the ocean with Kate Winslet floating away on a piece of wood. Leo, if Kate's not gonna move over, just fucking find another piece of wood, man. This theory actually made me really happy, until I went on the internet to research it, and some fucking James Cameron wannabe asshole ruined it for me. And those are my 3 favorite fan theories. Let me know in the comments what your favorite fan theories are, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Facebook. You can find out how you can win some cool autographs so your office can start looking as cool as my office. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.